by Peter Duru, Makurdi bothered by the spate of killings in the country, a former Nigerian High Commissioner to Canada and Mexico, Professor Hagher has argued that it was the turn of the north-central geopolitical zone to produce the next president of the country given the failure of President Muhammadu Buhari to live up to the expectations of Nigerians. Professor Hagher urged Nigerians to vote out President Buhari, who he described as an ethnic leader that had failed Nigerians who voted him into power but concentrated energy in protecting the interest of his kinsmen in negation of responsibilities to all Nigerians. Hagher, who is a presidential aspirant on the platform of the Social Democratic Party (SDP), lamented that Buhari's administration had failed to protect the lives and property of Nigerians against rampaging armed herdsmen and turned a deaf ear to the cries of Nigerians. The former Minister of State for Power and Steel, who spoke when he visited the Benue State Secretariat of the SDP in Makurdi where he presented his presidential intent form to members of the party, described the present administration as a disaster. He said, "A government that cannot ensure the protection of the lives and property of the people, that government is a failed government and should be voted out of office. Our people are being killed and they cannot have peace. Nigeria has become a laughingstock. It is shameful that the international community has tagged herdsmen as a deadly terrorist group, but our government has refused to do so. I must say that the All Progressives Congress (APC) as a party is a real disappointment. It was the last hope, but that hope has been dashed and gone. This presidency is a disaster. Nigerians must reject nepotism and mediocrity and support the SDP to make Nigeria great again. We must reject another Buhari's presidency in 2019. I promise that if elected, my presidency will change the narrative through the Nigeria collective consensus consciousness. That is the spirit of oneness and ability of Nigerians to rise above parochial interest and choose right over wrong, excellence over mediocrity, and to rise above religious, tribal and personal interests." The former envoy also promised to avail women free education as well as equal appointments with the male's counterparts if elected president in 2019. Hagher, who was at different times Minister of Health as well as Minister of Power and Steel, said women had been trampled upon for too long and as such they needed more political appointments to give them a sense of belonging. He further explained that, if women have to be secured and have a sense of belonging as well as improve the standing in the society, then they deserve free education. He said if elected, he would adopt the internationally accepted formula where 26% of the annual budgetary allocation was earmarked for the education sector. On what he termed the collective consensus consciousness, which he said was applied to vote MKO Abiola and Babagana Kingibe, who ran on a Muslim presidential ticket in 1993, he appealed to Nigerians to apply the same principle in voting him to power in 2019. This, he said, the principle entailed that Nigerians would support his candidacy based on what he could do and not the area he came from. Hagher lamented the state of decay of infrastructure in the country, adding that it was a pointer to the ongoing massive corruption in the nation's polity. He argued that due to lack of a focused government, today Nigeria ranks among the poorest in the Comity of Nations. This is certainly unaccepted. He also pledged to work on all sectors of economy when elected, adding that his administration would provide Nigerians every reason to be proud of the country. In his response, the Benue State Chairman of the SDP Chairman, John Enemari, lamented that tribe and religion had greatly divided the nation, even as he expressed confidence that Professor Hagher, with his wealth of experience, would emerge the next president of the country.